An attempt by the ACT Party to free up rules around overseas investment from OECD countries has failed, with the legislation being defeated in Parliament last night. I'm joined by ACT's Associate Finance Spokesperson, Damien Smith. Well, what was the whole point of your members' bill?
Well, we believe at the ACT Party that we need more foreign direct investment and more capital to come into the country to help us build jobs, connect with new businesses, and to help existing businesses finance themselves. And at the moment, the banks are contracting lending in this country. So in terms of being linked to the rest of the world, New Zealand doesn't do very well with foreign direct investment. It's probably the lowest ranking country in the Western model. And if you look at Australia, they get 80% more foreign direct investment per capita than we do, and their wages are 45% higher. So there's a direct correlation there between prosperity and foreign direct investment. And the capital's out there in the world, and we've got projects and businesses to apply it to. It's just the bureaucracy in the middle is holding things up. So our idea was to simplify it by anybody that's an OECD country that we are friendly with, they would be fast-tracked. And this wouldn't affect any existing trade agreements. It wouldn't include residential land, and any transaction would be subject to the national security test.
Now, I mean, in the House last night, Duncan Webb claimed that strategic assets would be under threat and that our sort of broadband infrastructure, what have you, could be, I don't know, taken over by Colombia or what have you. I mean, what's your response to that?
Well, that's just nonsense. I mean, Duncan, he's the first lawyer I've seen that never can read a bill, right? It was quite clear that anything that was of that significance would be put through a process. And some of these international firms already have foreign investors. So I don't know really what he's talking about. And, he sort of exposed him and Labour Party for not really being across that. And, that was very disappointing.
I guess just in terms of the principle of the legislation, I mean, why not allow it go to a select committee where then the debate could have been had about maybe changes, how it could be improved, tightened up? I mean, was that a disappointment to you that it didn't even get through to a select committee?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was what a collegiate parliament should have done. The National Party support this bill, so when we form a government next year, it'll become part of the mix and part of the law, and it'll be a step change for the country. But the Labour Party and the Green Party are just ideologically, the walls are shut. They want to keep New Zealand closed and like a hermit kingdom. And, we've got to step out into the world. And foreign direct investment allows us to link ourselves with other countries through trade. And it's a very myopic position by the Labour Party. And, they haven't come up with any work in this area with MIMBY.
Although the government has said, they're open for business, or New Zealand's open for business, and they've made, a thing about some of the investments that they say they've attracted, particularly from sort of IT software firms. I mean, so what's their problem?
Well, those investments are good investments, but we need a real step change. We need real change in the economy to bring more capital in. We've got to take the Australian benchmark and match that. Otherwise, we've got a brain drain of young people going to leave the country. And, it's okay for Amazon to come in here, but those Amazon jobs if they're like McDonald's jobs, it doesn't really take us to the next level. So if we want to build a really modern democratic society where business is taken seriously and prosperity is important to New Zealanders, then we need to give people liquidity through the financial system, and that hasn't been expanded on. And in fact, the economy is contracting, and foreign capital is necessary now because money is leaving the country, and you can look at our exchange rate. Foreign direct investment helps with that as well. So we can't just live in agriculture.
But is there a risk, though, that with foreign investment, and if you opened it right up, investors come in and then they take those, companies maybe that they invest in that, and then they just relocate back overseas, and then that value does get lost in New Zealand?
Well, at the moment, what's happening is that a lot of owners or Australian companies are coming here and doing that. Yeah, so we need to be sensible about that, is that the more OECD countries that are interested, the more challenge there is to what normally has been our FDI base, which has been either Japan, the UK, or Australia coming in. It means then that there's more competition for capital, and it means also business owners and shareholders can get a better offering on the value of their companies. So to me, it's something where we're not sitting right beside the European Union. There's no honeypot for New Zealand. So we need to be attracting capital on the basis that we're a smart economy. And Labour seems to think that just the status quo is fine.
Damien Smith, thank you for your time.
Thank you.